eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me.
It's the final Ninja A-League clash before Christmas for Perth Glory and Adelaide United. And with both sides sitting inside the bottom three, a victory is top of the wish list heading in to the festive season. Good evening and welcome to Sam Kerr Football Stadium. We're on Whadjuk Noongar country in Perth as the Glory host the Reds. So here we are. At the end of round 8, a crucial 6-pointer, 9th against 10th, but such is the tightness of this competition. A win for Perth lifts them into the top 6, while Adelaide can close the gap to just 2 points. So who is more desperate tonight in the West? One change for Glory after their 1-0 win here over Wellington on Friday. So Zog is ruled out with a quad strain. Tian McKenna moves into centre-back and Julia Sardo will shift to left-back. Despite scoring the winner last week, Susan Ponsong Cam remains on the bench, while Philippines international Emma Tova's return continues to have her minutes managed. She starts among the substitutes. Well, Georgia Cassidy missed the opening month of the season with a hamstring injury, and this evening starts her second match in a row. Her mobility, energy and ball winning in midfield will be crucial for Perth tonight. 2 changes for the Reds after they went down to victory in Melbourne. It was a side decimated by the flu. McNamara and Condon are welcome returns after missing last week. Holly Murray drops to the bench. Isabel Hodgson, the club captain, unavailable this week due to a wedding, so Ella Tonkin takes the armband. Erin Healy scored 8 goals last season as Adelaide finished 3rd, but she has just 1 in 5 this campaign. The Reds need their Irish international striker firing if they're going to end their own goal-scoring drought. They've scored just 3 times this season, twice in the win over Canberra, once in that 3-1 defeat to Brisbane. Outside of that, it has been slim pickings for the worst attacking side in the competition. Perth Glory boss Stephen Peters felt last week's win against Wellington wasn't their prettiest display, but it's something they can build on as they hunt back-to-back wins for the first time this season. In charge of this one, referee Sophie Allum, Cameron Wright and Vicky Clark are the assistant referees, and Liam Barclay, the 4th official. Theo Sunis has been dealing with the influenza which has spread through his squad in recent weeks, but he was impressed with how they performed last week against Victory. We're now going to pause for a moment's silence in remembrance of the victims of last week's tragedy at Bondi.
As a mark of respect, we now ask if you're able to please rise for a moment of silence as we offer our heartfelt sympathies to the victims, their loved ones and the communities impacted.
And our thoughts with the families of the victims. It was such a tragedy last Sunday at Bondi Beach. Well, this is what the sides are playing for tonight. A spot inside the top 6. Perth Glory, a win can take them there. They would jump above Sydney FC with a win, a big win, and they'd go to 5th, jumping up above Brisbane Roar. While for Adelaide, they just want to get themselves away from the bottom and close the gap on the top 6. Erin Healy scored her only goal of the season. Well, it was a spectacular one against Brisbane a couple of weekends ago. Can she add more this afternoon in Perth? So a crucial 6-pointer before Christmas in the Ninja A-League. 9th playing 10th, so can Perth build on last week's momentum, or will Adelaide secure their second win of the campaign? Alongside me is Matilda, number 174, Kath Canuli. Kath, wonderful to have your company. Where's this one going to be won or lost today?
I think this one's going to be definitely a battle of the midfield here. These both teams are going to go out to try and get the 3 points. You can see that they're towards the bottom of the ladder here, and you don't want that gap to get bigger and bigger. So it's a really, really important match for both of these teams.
And this is an intriguing matchup as well from the perspective of Adelaide United have struggled to score goals. Perth have struggled to keep them out. So you've got the best attack, the worst defence against the worst attack in the league, and you can understand why these two sides are sitting 9th and 10th. But only takes one moment to turn it all around.
It sure does, but we do know that both teams have got plenty of players on the pitch that actually can put the ball in the back of the net. There's plenty of firepower out there. It's about finding that consistency week in, week out. And you can see with Erin Healy last season, she put 8 goals away in the season. She was on fire, but this season she hasn't really found her straps within the competition. So hopefully it will be important for her and for Adelaide United to really have a great game today.
So we're seeing Grace Johnson with this throw-in. She's moved across to right back. Did start the season at left back. And part of the reason for that, twofold for Stephen Peters. One being that she is right-footed, so he has decided to move her back to a side that suits her strengths, but also the fact that McKenna is playing at centre-back this afternoon. That's going to be helpful because their combination goes way back to their days playing state football with WA. So just giving themselves a bit more familiarity in that area of the pitch, especially with McKenna not having played a whole lot at centre-back. I did say to Stephen Peters, how much has she played centre-back during her career? He said a little bit in the NPL, not much at this level at all. So big test because Perth Glory are without Chinema, who's got that ankle ligament injury, and Zog, who suffered the quad issue last week in the win over Wellington Phoenix. So experience lacking at the back for Perth Glory today. How will they handle that? Bronte True tried to slip it in behind for Badawia. Perth trying to solve their own goal-scoring conundrum, you'd say, Kath, as well, because they've got Gabby Holler playing as the number 9 today, but Badawia, not really a winger, but being forced into that role with this formation. They did play them as a front 2 for the early part of the season, but now a front 3 with Bronte True playing out there on the right. Here's Adelaide pushing forward down the left. Condon. And the captain for today, Ella Tonkin, 69th A-League women's match at just 23 years of age. And Condon, the former Matilda, one-time national team player for Australia, coming back into the side with McNamara as well. Massive inclusions for Theo Tsunis. Healy, so dangerous on the ball. Zoyce and Taranto finds a twin sister, and Taranto very nearly picked out that top corner. That's a good start this from Adelaide.
It sure is. It's a really great start from Adelaide here. They find out with Adriana Taranto here, you can see 1v1. She's normally, you know, quite aggressive, trying to take players on, but looks for the early shot there. But it's some good early signs here for Adelaide United.
You can see pretty nice conditions for the players today in Perth. 26 degrees, bit of a westerly blowing. And in Perth, of course, a westerly is good news because that is coming from the ocean. Get used to that being quite a warm breeze on the eastern seaboard. I'll be appreciating that today at Sam Kerr Football Centre. Dorber. And Hodgson. The focus this season for Theosunis really been about possession for Adelaide. Wants them to be a really possession-based side. Doesn't want them to get caught too much in the transition game. And he said it will take a little bit of time for that to develop under his stewardship this season. And it started pretty well for them. They've been on the front foot here, controlling most of the opening 6 minutes. There he is, first-year head coach in the A-League Women. Coach of West Adelaide in South Australia. Taranto. It's good industry there from West away. This midfield battle going to be intriguing because you've got the ball players of Adelaide, the Taranto twins. You've also got Paige Zoyce in there as well. But Perth have really got a mobile midfield which is high on energy, with Westaway in there alongside the returning Cassidy, who started for the first time this season last week against Wellington. Huge ins for a Glory side who really looked a little one pace to start the season, especially in those 3 straight defeats when they came over east. Defeats against Sydney, Canberra and Victory after they lost in round 2 against Brisbane. It was 4 straight defeats, but it was a promising showing against the Roar. It was those next 3 matches where Stephen Peters was very disappointed with how it unfolded for Perth. They turned it all around last week against Wellington. That 1-0 win at home. And Taranto just staying down a little longer here. Just testing out the knee. Hopefully this isn't a further concern. It's always concerning, Catherine. You've got a player that takes this amount of time early in a game to get back to their feet.
It sure is, and you can just see there, she's just moved her feet. She's got caught there and just got clipped, and sometimes just that little bit of a knock earlier on. But she's back up on her feet, and that's the main thing.
Turned over and Holler. Well, she immediately goes down to do up a shoelace. Well, it was a shot which looked as though she just didn't quite get a full piece of it there. They really need to punish Adelaide in those kind of situations. Perth Glory, especially the likes of Holler, who we know can score a goal or 2. Scored a double in round 1 against Western Sydney, but none since.
You can see here, great little touch, a little around the corner there, and Holler's probably got a little bit more time there to really get her body behind that strike, but has just really mishit that.
So you can see, look at this possession, and we talked about this from the outset. Theosunis really wanting his side to be a team that controls possession, controls the match. Well, they're doing so thus far. Almost 80% of the ball. Healy able to nudge that pass through. Dorber was able to find Taranto. The flag was up anyway.
You See here, a little bit of a battle here. Dorber feels a little bit hard done by.
Well, here's that incident in the box. Johnston v Dorber. Any claims for a trip to the spot, Kath, or you think nothing doing? Good call from the referee.
I think it was just a small battle there. They've both got their arms in there trying to pull it down, but in the end it doesn't matter. It got called for an offside anyway, so it's play on from there, and it's great to see that both teams are looking to battle and trying to win those 50-50 duels as well.
And that's the thing, no VAR in the A-League Women's as well to have a look at those incidents. Sometimes a good thing, sometimes not. Depends whether you like the technology or not. So here's a corner for Perth Glory. They've had issues defending set pieces. And have scored once from a corner, but to be honest, that's pretty even across the board. Try a little change up the cross onto the head of Sardo. Hands to the head. She's come back into the side today, Julia Sardo. She knows that was an opportunity.
You can see there just the way she's positioned her body. She's disappointed. She knows that she's free in that area there to get a bit more of a clear-cut header from the cross. But it was interesting there as well from Cassidy with the left foot, going with the wind there, not to really whip it in and put Jenkins under pressure there early on.
That's a neat piece of skill from Hodgson, I should say, able to move her away down the left. Westaway turned into trouble, and Taranto wins the free kick. Both players coming from everywhere. Hodgson, hang it up, great delivery. It falls for Taranto, big moment. Oh, and that is a huge, huge missed opportunity for the Reds. First Dorber, and then it landed to Taranto. Now all of a sudden Perth are pushing forward. Was that a handball? Referee said it was a shoulder from McNamara. And I think McNamara is pointing to the other end of the pitch. There's a lot to unpack here, Kath.
Plenty of action here. Is a great ball in, and we can see here Taranto just taking that touch really there. It's just got to be a first time hit and really back yourself from those areas.
Now, here is a chance. Badawaya, you do not want to give her those kind of opportunities, and she is stopped in her tracks. And she is still prone on the ground here. Roller Badawaya. It was heavy contact. And the referee is going to stop play. It's just a strong challenge, wasn't it, coming across here. Ella Tonkin leading by example, the captain.
She's a tough defender, Ella Tonkin. You don't want to be going up 1v1 against her. And Badawaya just got herself into a little battle there. Her touch just wasn't really spot on, and Tonkin was there really to clean things up for Adelaide United.
And you could probably say both sides with gilt-edged opportunities. Maybe less of a chance for Roller Badawaya, but how often have you seen her just shimmy inside and hit that into a corner of the goal?
Absolutely, we've seen her do that time and time again. It's, you know, something that's really her bread and butter in this league. She does it so well, where she brings the ball down with her first touch, and just was a little bit off.
Scored 2 in her first, 2 in glory colours. It was a purple patch to start her time at Glory. An absolute stunner. Goal of the month against Brisbane. We'll watch that over and over again. That was a special moment. Condon and Hodgson. And so Adelaide reverting to a back four this week. They were playing the back five last week. It's a very inexperienced back line, that match against Melbourne Victory. Murray, Tonkin and Tolan were the central three, and then Hodgson at left wing back on the on that edge for Adelaide, and Isabel Hodgson on the right, who of course misses today, attending a wedding. Fiona Wirtz also on the way back from the UK after attending a family wedding as well. So it's been a challenging period for Adelaide. This is Dorber showing good speed. And out comes Morrissey. Did come a long way from home there. I think hearts were in mouths there for a moment. Had to claim and did.
You could see Morrissey there was just in two minds and just got there in the end. She was lucky that Chelsea Dorber just didn't have that little bit extra in her, but it was a great run there by Dorber.
Morrissey, it's strange to think that it's just her second appearance in this competition as an Australian as well, considering she looks so assured as a goalkeeper. Last week, an outstanding performance. First clean sheet in game number one. She was the 2024 NPL New South Wales Goalkeeper of the Year, and then won the NPLW Championship with Box Hill against Heidelberg in the season just gone. And she's running all the way up for this little team meeting here. How often do you see this? Look at this.
Not often do you see a goalkeeper coming all the way up for a team chat, but she's probably thinking it's important to really gather around the group. And you can see here, you know, it's been a bit of a battle here for Perth Glory, and Adelaide United have really been the team on top in this first 20 minutes.
They didn't look too much in that little incident there, True and McNamara, but True just clutching the forehead. Yeah, and in that intervening period, Morrissey ran all the way from her goal mouth up to probably about 30 metres from Adelaide's goal to join the team huddle, and it looked as though she was giving some clear instructions there to her side from a defensive perspective. Adelaide just managing to find some space in behind with Dorber. Jenkins scooping it up only as far as west away. Holler getting herself busy. So 30th meeting between these two sides. Perth winning 15, the Reds 11 with 3 draws. Would you believe, Kath, there's never been a draw between these two sides in Perth in 18 seasons of the Ninja A-League. There's some quirky stats in this competition, and that is one of them. Is that going to be destiny in front of us this afternoon, now that I've said it?
Well, let's hope it's not a nil or draw. Let's hope that.
It won't be.
We want a bit of excitement here.
Let's definitely hope that is the case. Sure, there's going to be plenty of entertainment this afternoon. Goal scorers across the pitch. Johnston coming back to clean up for Perth, but Adelaide with some good position here on the field. Strike from distance, always rising. So almost 20 minutes gone in this one. Paige Zoyce made the move from Melbourne Victory to Adelaide in the off-season. Very much a bench player used by Jeff Hopkins at Victory over her time there. 5 seasons in total. Now a chance to be a starter under Theo Sunis at Adelaide United. This is nice work from True, tricking away into the box. And Taranto Wins it back for Adelaide. Gee, she's been in the wars to start this game. Adriana Taranto, and here is a problem for Perth, because there is a yellow card on the way, and it is going the way of Julia Sardo. So left back on a card. Now that is something Adelaide will probably look to exploit, you'd think, Kath.
Absolutely. You can see there that Sardo's just come in super late. She's come in with the boot up into the challenge, not seeing the ball at all there, and bit of a tough one there on Taranto.
Adriana Taranto, a couple of appearances for the Matildas in 2025. Zoyce. Now Hodgson. What about Emily Hodgson, just 25 years of age. Already A-League Women's Game number 134. She's been such a consistent presence in her 10 seasons with the Reds. Poked up the line. Spills back to Cassidy in midfield. This is just launched up the field. It looked rather aimless, but Bronte True making something of it. Jenkins with a poor clearance. And if Perth can press here, they could win the ball back, but Adelaide have recovered. Zoyce. And Healy. Now, Kath, we saw this a lot last week. Healy dropping very, very deep. And speaking to their coach, Theo Sunis, this week, he doesn't really want that. He wants her to be up in position to score the goals. She scored 8 last season, but she can find a good pass as well. So when she does sense that opportunity, sometimes it's worth letting her trust her gut.
Absolutely, and Sunis knows what a threat she is in that final third. And, you know, given that she's only scored the 1 goal this season, I think from a player's perspective, when you're not getting on the ball, you're not getting fed what you really want, sometimes you come a little bit deeper to want to get on the ball and start to create a little bit more. But what she needs to do is actually just have trust within her teammates to be able to, you know, get the ball into that final third and get her into an area where she is a threat. And that's what Adelaide United need. And I think at the moment, they're not just finding those proper combination between players on the pitch.
Well, this is neat from Condon. Dorber can strike from range. That's well blocked by McKenna, who, as we said, playing at centre-back this evening. Not a regular centre-back by any stretch. Now Healy taking on Anderson, and you just sense Healy surely will be licking her lips, thinking, I've got Anderson, young player, just 20 years of age, 16th Ninja A-League appearance. McKenna, not used to playing at centre-back. It's an inexperienced centre-back combination. Sardo as well, who's been in and out of the team of late, so still finding her feet at the Glory. But important to note, and I mentioned this a little earlier, that combination, Johnston, Anderson, McKenna, they played a lot together during those state days, and that's a combination that Stephen Peters is relying on this afternoon. Despite their inexperience at this level, he's thinking that telepathy potentially from playing together so often could come in handy this afternoon.
Absolutely, and especially in a back line, you want that connection from your back line, and they've reverted back to this back 4 now, which I think suits the Perth Glory team a lot better. But it's a big loss for Perth Glory without Zog and without Chinema in that centre of defence.
Aware, and a real scrap for possession there with Tolland. Tonkin. Good pressure there from Perth. They're not going to earn themselves the throw, but you can just see Dalton there, I tell you what, that throw is taken probably at least 5 metres further up the pitch there from Adriana Taranto. Not pulled back by the officials.
A little bit cheeky there by Taranto, but it was great because the Perth Glory team was still, you know, with their arms up in the air to the referee, and Taranto just picked up that ball looking for that quick throw in and looking to really turn Perth Glory around.
Well, Cassidy wasting no time and delivering the pass. She knows the threat that True possesses, especially up against McNamara and Tonkin. Not saying they're slouches by any stretch. Matilda McNamara has played for the Matildas. Tonkin, of course, young former Australian youth player. But Bronte True has speed to burn, and she is going to present a threat for the Adelaide backline if they can get her in those one-on-one situations. Ooh, little clip of the ankles. And down goes McNamara.
You can see there, McNamara just gets herself away, and Bronte True just sticks that little foot out.
Only takes that little nudge, does it, when you're running at high speed. So Tonkin searching for the head of Taranto. That battle there with Sardo. And this will just be a goal kick. Sardo and Taranto, teammates at Western United in recent seasons. Now coming face to face here in Perth this afternoon. So no doubt a little bit of knowledge that they'll both have about how they can exploit each other's weaknesses. This is Melissa Taranto just grabbing in an elbow. We saw Adriana down earlier in this first half.
You can see here Taranto does so well just to protect the ball there, but she just can't stay on her feet there, and
it looks as though she's all right at the moment, but that elbow did sort of twist a little awkwardly, and she's still feeling that. So Perth, that clearance rather aimless in the end, straight into the Adelaide midfield. Zoyce. Tonkin looking for the height of Healy, who wins it in the air. Well, that was acrobatic. It was excellent defensive work. But it's Perth Glory who are being hemmed in this opening half hour in the West. So often you see the home side make all the running, but today it's Adelaide who are controlling most of possession, as you would expect based on the way these two sides have played this season. They need some end product. You can have as much possession as you want, but if you're not scoring, then it, in the end, becomes irrelevant. Healy's delivery. Just over the head of Taranto. We'll track it down in front of the sideline. Takes on Sardo. Almost found its way through to Condon. Anderson's boot thumping through it. But at the moment, Kath, it just seems like Perth's only avenue out of danger is just to thump it up over the halfway line.
Absolutely. There's no point at the moment that they have any control of this game, and especially once they do win the ball, they're not looking to find an out or find that secure pass. They're just really looking to get rid of it. And we can see at the moment they do have an advantage with the wind in their favour as well, and they've got to really take advantage of it, especially once they do win the ball, to try and keep it and look to play forward. And we know that they've got plenty of speed on the sides of Bronte True there, but you can see here again frustrations from Perth Glory, giving away silly fouls like this and allowing Adelaide United to be more in control of this game at the moment.
And you can just see the frustration there when that free kick was given to Adelaide. They're just under some serious pressure at the moment, and they know if Adelaide continue to spend minutes down this end of the ground, it's going to fatigue Glory defensively, and you would expect Adelaide will eventually punish them, especially with the quality they've got up there. Dorber is their all-time leading goal scorer. Condon up there as well, who's their third highest goal scorer in A-League women's history. And then Healy, who's got 9 in her Ninja A-League career. Delivery finds Dorber. And just wouldn't sit for her. 31 goals, Chelsea Dorber, in her Ninja A-League career. All of those with Adelaide. So Fiona Wirtz, second most for the Reds with 29, who's not available today. And Emily Condon, third most with 22, who scored in that win over Canberra back midway through November. Their only win this season. And that's why we love this competition, Kath, because Canberra, beaten this week, but they've been flying in recent weeks, up near the top of the table. And Adelaide, who are near the bottom, beat them back in mid-November. So anything really can happen. This is a chance for Badawea, but Tolan just got herself goal side. And that was excellent recovery work from Zoe Tolan, because Badawea gets on the ball there and there's serious problems for the Reds.
It's fantastic defending here by Tolan, because she does get caught on the wrong side there, but she just used the body there against Badawea, and she wasn't able to take a great touch there, but Zoe Tolan really recovered well there to be able to stop Badawea in her tracks.
Just some instructions there, bottom right of your picture there. You may have seen Stephen Peters having a chat as this corner comes in. And free kick here. I'd love to see what happened there. Referee saying there was some contact there on Taranto. More frustration for Perth. Didn't look like there was a whole lot going on. Here we go. We'll get your thoughts on this, Kath. Cassidy.
Doesn't really seem like there's too much in it there. Cassidy's sort of jumped up and made a little bit of contact there with Taranto.
Well, if the edict is let the game flow, you would think that's a moment to do so. Didn't look like it was dangerous at all. So 34 minutes have passed here, and probably two sides who are just a little out of form at the moment, but that can change here for the Reds. Taranto may get a second bite at the cherry and doesn't. It's excellent defensive work from Perth Glory again, but maybe on that occasion you can see Adriana Taranto is getting herself in space and just delaying a little too long, and it's allowing Perth to recover.
She needs to be really more precise in her decision making there. She's just taking that extra touch there where she's trying to set herself up, but really it's really a controlled hit. You don't need to think. The goal never moves. You know exactly where you are. She put herself in a fantastic position, and you can see Sardo gets caught ball watching, and Adriana Taranto's on her shoulder there and gets herself in a great position.
Dorber, dangerous crossing. Healy was in position, but it was just a little too close to Morrissey. That's the challenge for Adelaide. They've got a goalkeeper who is full of confidence. Oh, Jenkins came a long way there. Not quite sure what she was doing.
That was a bit of a shaky one there from Jenkins. She's mistimed that run out, and she got really lucky there.
So true, first time delivery, Holler. All of a sudden, almost a chance out of nothing. And that's what Perth can deliver you. They can deliver you the sublime.
Absolutely, they're very dangerous in that final third as well. Any of those top three players can really put the ball in the net, and especially in transition moments, you can see once they do win the ball and higher up the pitch, they're looking to progress the ball into the box really quickly.
Cassidy gives it back to Adelaide. We saw last week, Perth, they soaked up all the pressure from Wellington. This is a Wellington side who scored 7 against Sydney yesterday. They kept Wellington scoreless, and then they punished them at the other end with an Olympico from Honsong Camp, who's on the bench tonight. Sardo. And Toland, has she managed to keep it in? She hasn't quite. Well, let's be honest, a draw is not on the menu for either side here. It really does little. They will stay 9th and 10th, so 3 points, an absolute must. And it's Perth now through Bronte True. They're having a few more moments here in the shadows of halftime. Recycles it through Johnston. And free kick has been given to the Glory. So here's an opportunity from a set piece.
You can see here Westaway really doesn't do well there protecting the ball. I think Healy probably feels a little bit hard done by there.
Well, it was a set piece which brought Wellington undone at the hands of Perth Glory last week. Good targets in there. Badawea, Sardo as well. Sardo almost on the end of it there. Westaway, pressured by Dorber. Now it's Holler up towards Badawea. True, Badawea, there's the opening goal. Roller Badawea with a first since round 2. Well, the goals hotline. It is working a treat for Roller Badawea. She's having a terrific start to life in the West. She's got 3 goals now in her first 7 matches for the Glory, and they lead 1-0.
What a great striker's goal there by Badawea. In the right place at the right time. You can just see she just sets herself up, and that's the difference from Badawea. She doesn't take that touch. She hits that ball first time. She knows where that ball's going. It's going right in the back of the net.
If you want a goal, just call me, says Roller Badawea. And Teresa Morrissey, I can't believe that she is a goalkeeper based on her fitness. She's doing laps of the pitch despite playing in goal. Well, she may have a work cut out for her here because Healy's bearing down. Morrissey with the save. Now Taranto. Taranto's cross. Morrissey, another involvement. Just keeping herself limber with those laps of the pitch. And she's had another key couple of involvements there. Oh, that looked like a handball from Taranto. No, play on. Taranto looking for the top corner, but Morrissey comfortably taken. I'm just thinking, Kath, we see goalkeepers come into this competition from overseas, and you would expect, of course, you sign an overseas goalkeeper, they're going to be confident. But I don't think I've seen a more confident Australian goalkeeper in what is her second National League match. She is in imperious form, we know, from her NPL performances in New South Wales and in Victoria. But she is a leader, isn't she, for this Perth Glory side?
She really is, and I think it's just being able to give players this opportunity, and Stephen Peters has given Morrissey the opportunity to take this #1 spot and really lead this Perth Glory team, and she's done so fantastic over these last 2 games, so it's great to see that, and it's great to see Australian goalkeepers in this competition really making it their own, because as we've known over the years in the Ninja A-League, where we've had a lot of international goalkeepers come through a lot of our teams.
Yeah, I think the question on everyone's lips is, where has she been? Why hasn't she been playing at this level before? She was at the Mariners last year, didn't get an opportunity. And you could understand why Stephen Peters was so disappointed that she was injured. She was actually injured at work, injured her back in the early pre-season, and that's why she missed the first part. So Daloste came in as an injury replacement. But Morrissey, well, you can see what all the talk's been about regarding her. Big performance last week against Wellington. And she's hunting back-to-back clean sheets, and if she secures that, well, Perth will have back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Still a lot of water to pass under the bridge before that, but it's a great platform they've got here. And when they have scored the first goal, Perth have won both matches this season. And when they've conceded first, Adelaide have lost 3. They've won 1. And Kath, big issue for Adelaide this season. They have not scored the first goal in any match this season. And that's a concern, isn't it, when we know how important that first goal is in football. You just can't continually keep playing from behind and expect to be at the pointy end of the competition.
Absolutely, it's always been a tough one for Adelaide, and we've known they've had some of their most successful seasons has been, you know, when the likes of Dorba and the likes of Fiona Warts are really, you know, on fire and scoring goals, and that comes from confidence as well, and it's something that they really haven't, you know, had in this part of the league at the moment. And you know, they've had 1 win this season, which unfortunately, you know, is not enough at the moment for them to really build on that consistency as well. We know that Theo Souness has come in. He's trying to instill a different style of play on this Adelaide United team as well, which sometimes does take a little bit of time. So it'll be interesting to see over the next 3 to 4 weeks if they really buy into his philosophy of play and really start to mould into the team that he wants.
And they've had a really disjointed start to the season. Played in that win against Canberra November 14, didn't play again till December 7. Healy, here's a chance for an equaliser. Sardo, excellent defending from a player on a yellow card as well, so she has to be circumspect. Now Dalton, Perth playing with some confidence on transition now. And Taranto, she got one here. Well, she was sliding on the turf. And the issue is she went to ground. And you do go to ground, you can put yourself in harm's way. We'll see if there was anything. Was the forward roll there from the Perth player. Did not see that on first glance. That was the Sardo intervention. And there's another Perth player hitting the deck there. And there's a little clip. A little one maybe just below the shin pad. Next Western United players coming together. Taranto's okay now. But Julia Sardo, this has been her best performance of the season, because she started the season in the 11 for Perth and dropped out after that disappointing performance against Canberra, where they were just overrun, really, Perth. Wanted a bit more speed and mobility. Well, she's lifted today. Sardo is part of this side at left back. She was playing in a back three to begin the season. But switch in formation seems to have worked a treat for Perth Glory, at least so far. And that Adelaide issue, I said disjointed start. They've had influenza go through the group, and they've also had players missing with Weddings, Wirtz and Hodgson today. Big losses, experienced players. But we know you've got to have a life outside of football as well. I know there's going to be a lot of debate about that across the league. I know we've had a few players miss games due to attendance of weddings, but yeah, I think, oh, look at this. That's what this is Perth Glory, their classic best. They could pull a goal out of absolutely nothing, and they almost did there. Again, Stephen Peters, it's all smiles for he and Julia Sardo at half-time, because Perth Glory are halfway there to back-to-back victories for the first time this season. Batawea with a third of the season for Perth. Half-time, Glory 1, Adelaide 0. And let's reflect back on the first half highlights. And Kath, we often say it, don't we? You can pass, pass, pass. You can have as much possession as you want. And that's what Adelaide did in the first half. But when you don't have the end product, you can be punished. And that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened to Adelaide United in this first half, and they did have more of the action and they did create a lot more chances in that final third, but they really couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Perth Glory goes to the other end and, you know, punishes them. But you can see here, when Adelaide United do get themselves into these, you know, final third areas, they need to be more rapid and have a bit more hunger in their belly when they get into the box. And you can see here again, plenty of action in the box for Adelaide United, but not enough hunger.
Yeah, and that is a great word, because I was going to touch on that. If you looked at these two sides, it's one element of the game that you do not see in the stats: hunger. Maybe Jules probably gives you an indication, or Jules won, but between these two sides, who has more hunger? Do you feel like it's Perth Glory?
Absolutely. They're not creating as much as what Adelaide United are creating, but once they do get into that final third, you could just see then when they do enter the box, you can see Batawea not waiting, not thinking, really just putting a foot through that ball and wanting to put it into the back of the net. And, you know, we talk about, you know, having that killer instinct in and around the box, and that's something that Adelaide United right at the moment doesn't have.
And it's amazing what those inclusions for Perth, the impact they can have on that level of desire. You look at Cassidy, you look at Morrissey, just that real desire, and all of a sudden it lifts everyone else around them, and you can really see that despite 29% possession in the first half, 53% passing accuracy. And look at that, final third entries 26 apiece. There's many ways to skin a cat, isn't there?
It sure is, and that these possession stats don't tell the story of this game. And you can see Perth Glory going into the sheds at halftime, 1-0 up, again having more of that hunger.
Alrighty, well, we are going to take a quick break from the Sam Kerr Football Centre, where it is Perth Glory on the way to back-to-back wins. They lead it 1-0. We've got the halftime show coming up next.
Spectators must comply with the A-League's terms of admission and the venue's conditions of entry, including provisions relating to security screening and intoxication. Any spectator identified with a prohibited item or assessed as unduly intoxicated may be refused entry, evicted from the stadium, potentially banned from attending future matches, and handed over to police for further questioning. We ask you respect your fellow spectators by refraining from illegal and dangerous activities. The A-Leagues, Professional Footballers Australia and Football Coaches Australia are taking a stand against online bullying in Australian football. There is no place for racism, abuse or hate in our sport. Play it fair. Flares are illegal at our venues. If you possess or throw a flare, there are severe penalties that apply. Any spectator identified with a prohibited item may be refused entry, evicted from the stadium, potentially banned from attending future matches and handed over to the police for further questioning. A financial fine may also be issued. We are committed to providing a safe and enjoyable environment for all our fans and ask you to respect your fellow spectators by refraining from illegal and dangerous activities. It is an offence for any spectator to enter the field of play without authorisation. Any spectator that enters the field of play without authorisation will be evicted from the stadium, potentially banned from attending future matches and handed over to the police for further questioning. A financial fine may also be issued. APL is committed to providing a safe and enjoyable environment for everyone, and we ask you to respect the players and match officials by remaining within the seating bowl. Say hello to the Ninja Slushie, the easy, convenient way to make frozen drinks at home. No ice means no watered down drinks. No blending means smooth, perfect texture every time. Just pour, slush and enjoy. 5 one-touch programs for any drink you want. Enjoy perfect results. Transform almost anything with the Ninja Slushie. The 25-26 Isuzu Ute A-League men and Ninja A-League women's seasons are finally here. Don't miss out on the fun, passion and unforgettable family-friendly A-Leagues match day experiences. Tickets available now. Your leagues, our leagues, A-Leagues. Love how you live in the 7-seat Isuzu MUX SUV. Go your own way. Get ready to cheer just like Liberty supports the A-Leagues. They're on your team too. Whether you're planning a holiday or buying a new home, they could provide the assist you need to kick your free thinking goals. Liberty, loans for free thinkers.
Keep sunburn on the sidelines with Indoor Skincare, your complete solution for sun protection. Australian sun just hit its match. Powered by Nature Superproof.
Welcome back to Sam Kerr Football Centre. There's George, the Glory Gorilla. He's going for a run because Perth are extremely happy here. It is all smiles. There's Dave, I believe, the Glory robot. Darren, is it? Darren, that's right. Dazza, the robot with the Santa hat, apparently takes the ball out. And yeah, it's all happening here at Sam Kerr Football Centre in the lead up to Christmas. And Perth are hoping they can get themselves into the 6 on Christmas. Now, speaking of Adelaide United, well, 2 of their key players missing today, Fiona Wirtz and Dylan Holmes. They are not just teammates, they are flatmates. They'll be spending a bit of time together as well at the moment. Let's take some time to get to know them a little better.
Hi, I'm Fiona Wirtz. And I'm Dylan Holmes, and we'll be answering some questions today.
Wirtz, with Holmes making a run!
As housemates, who is the best cook and what is the best dish they make?
You're the better cook. Yeah, I don't think that's any.
But then most of the time we mix stuff together.
That's true.
If we're cooking.
Yeah, I do like the curries that we do.
Yeah, Thai red curry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
that's a
classic
good
in
one.
our house.
Or the prawns.
Yeah.
But that's now our thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're either Thai red curry or like what is it, like honey sriracha prawns.
Ooh, that's iconic.
Okay, next question.
Who is the messier housemate?
But what do I do?
You just sometimes stuff around.
I feel like we both kind of have our
Yeah,
things.
it's
Like,
a tie.
yeah.
On to the next.
Okay, well this one's obvious. Who is most likely to cry during a movie?
100% me.
Yeah. no question.
Yeah. 100% me. Who trains the hardest? Well, that's,
Oh, we both train
hard. Yeah.
Okay. On the pitch, who flops more convincingly?
Oh. I think sometimes
It
when
could
you go
be the
down,
maybe.
you go down. Like,
Because I feel like I mean, most of the time when you flop, it's because you've been hit in the face. So I
yeah,
don't know
that's
if it's
fair. I'm like,
necessarily a flop.
yeah, or if it's just like, Yeah, that hurts. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
sometimes you just get like tangled, and then the way you end up on the floor is very floppy. Like, so
Yeah, okay, I'll take it.
Maybe you.
I'll take that one.
All right, last one. Who would survive longer without football?
I think
feel
I
like you would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit more. I've probably gone longer without it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Cool, that's us.
Oh, they're good sports, aren't they? Fiona Wirtz and Dylan Holmes. Kath, what's your favourite Christmas movie?
You can't go away from Home Alone, Ben. It's
Oh.
the best movie of all time. I actually made the kids watch it with me the other day.
Oh, well, I must say I agree with you. So, and I'm not just doing that. Yeah, it is the best.
Are we both showing our age here?
We are. Now, I just want to say this is the robot Dazza. APD Global are the crew that designed him, and Dazza's going to be very happy with this halftime scoreline. Roller Badawea rolling that one over the line for her third goal, her first actually since round 2. So she scored 2 in her first 2, and she hasn't scored in the last 4, but back on the score sheet. And she is a clinical finisher, and this is the thing, Kath. Even though they've had 29% possession, you get the ball into the box, Badawea gets a chance like that, she will finish most times.
And her teammates know that, and they can see when they are looking to go forward into that final third, they are looking for Roller Badawea, and she's a prolific goal scorer. She knows exactly where the goal is, and you can see most of the times, you know, she's unpredictable in that final third. You don't see her really trying to think about things. It's really off the cuff, and you can see when she does get into those dangerous areas, it's a first-time finish, or she's looking to cut inside and hit the ball, and she's such a great goal scorer and a great striker for this Ninja A-League.
Well, Perth Glory, Adelaide United substitutes warming up. Second half is on the way next. Do not forget, though, coming in March, it is the Women's Asian Cup coming to Australia, and we can't wait.
I'm a queen and I'm coming for my throne. Should've known your days were numbered. It's my turn, watch and learn.
Oh, I saw it! It's incredible!
Team too. Whether you're planning a holiday or buying a new home, they could provide the assist you need to keep your free thinking goals. Living loans for free thinkers. The 25-26 Isuzu A-League men and Ninja A-League women's seasons are finally here. Don't miss out on the fun, passion and unforgettable family-friendly A-Leagues match day experiences. Tickets available now. Your leagues, our leagues, A-Leagues. There is a mountain of football on Paramount Plus, the only place to see every A-League's Combank Matildas and Combank Socceroos game live. Stream every game, every goal and every moment live on Paramount Plus. Say hello to the Ninja Slushie, the easy, convenient way to make frozen drinks at home. No ice means no watered down drinks. No blending means smooth, perfect texture every time. Just pour, slush and enjoy. 5 one-touch programs for any drink you want. Enjoy perfect results. Transform almost anything with the Ninja Slushie.
Delivering the match ball for the second half, makes some noise on the APT over. Scan the QR code to access exclusive Rover Cam footage powered by APT Global.
To the second half here at Sam Kerr Football Centre. And Adelaide United looking to fight back from this 1-goal deficit. Perth Glory's lead in the first half, courtesy of Roller Batawia's strike in the shadows of half-time. And Kath Canuli, big test this for the Reds, a side who has just one win this season, and they are desperate to find some form. Welcome back to Sam Kerr Football Centre. Perth Glory and Adelaide United inside the opening minute of this second half. And it is Perth Glory leading, courtesy of that Roller Batawia strike in the shadows of half-time. And Kath Canuli, big test this for Adelaide. Behind again. And they are desperate for a win. They really need that second win of the season to give themselves some life in season 18 of the Ninja A-League.
It really is, Ben, and it's really tough to come out at half-time 1-0 down. They did dominate that first half, and especially you seen it in the stats in possession-wise. They were dominated. They did create a lot of chances, but they didn't put the ball into the back of the net. And Perth Glory has gone up the other side of the pitch and, you know, have taken their chances and really deserved that 1-0 lead at the moment.
Well, it was Adelaide who won the last meeting between these two sides back in February. Erin Healy scored a double. Chelsea Dorber on the score sheet as well. Can they rediscover that kind of magic here tonight? Dorber yet to score this season. Oh, and there's a problem for her here. It looks like it's hip to hip there with Bronte True. It looks as though she's going to try and run that out. And Bronte True, meanwhile, at the other end, looking to cause some further headaches for Adelaide. This looks her best performance, though, in a Perth Glory shirt. Bronte True, she's been dangerous tonight. And Perth, ever since the goal, have looked a lot more assured side in possession, because they were really struggling to control the ball before that. Adelaide, a lot more of the running, especially in the opening half hour. It's amazing, though, the impact a goal can have, the lift that it gives your side. Some thinking to do for that man, Theo Souness. And to be honest, for Adelaide, losing key players last week due to a flu which spread through the squad. Condon was not there, McNamara not there. 1-0 defeat to victory. You'd say that that was a pretty good performance. But they just have been unable to convert in this area of the pitch. And you can see there another half chance there for Healy, snuffed out by Perth.
See here, Healy really trying to make something out of nothing at the moment, really trying to force herself through.
Bronte True with a key touch. She has Batawaya in the middle. She goes it alone. And if she has a look back on the replay, I'm sure she'll think, maybe I should have found Roller.
You can see there as well, Bronte True with her touch. You can see she's seen that Adelaide defender in her side vision there, and she takes her touch away from goal there. If she takes her touch towards goal, it's a little bit of a different strike. Even though she didn't look to find Batawia, if she does want to take that herself, her first touch needs to be towards the goal, not away from the goal.
And as a coach, Kath, if you're seeing that from Bronte True, are you encouraging that? I know you can look at that and go, well, Roller Batawia was free, unmarked, in the middle of the box, but that's a player that is full of confidence taking on that strike. So I'm sure you'd love to see that as well.
Absolutely, and you don't want to kill that out of your strikers, especially when they are in a great position. You don't want them to always think about passing. Yes, if there's an easy pass on for a little cutback, for a little, ball in the back of the net, but, as a striker and when you are going forward, you want them to have that instinct in them as well. But it's just more about where do you take your touch when you are trying to go at goal. You want to go towards the goal. You don't want to go away from it and obviously set yourself up with your touch. But, it's just unfortunate there with Bronte. She takes a touch away from her there and doesn't really get the connection on the strike.
It'd mean a lot, that first goal in Perth glory colours for Bronte True. Johnston. Pass up the line. Find a teammate, and this change of formation for Stephen Peters. You can see him having a chat there to Grace Johnston. Unfortunately for Johnston, it has meant we haven't seen her as far forward as previously, given more of a licence when they were playing that back three to begin the season, really to get up and down, but it came at a cost really for Perth. And then being caught out in those 4 straight defeats. Well, not the greatest clearance that time from Cassidy, but Johnston got ahead to it. Controlled by Zoyce. Hodgson plays the 1-2 with Dorber. McNamara. Taranto. And Toland. A touch around the corner from Hodgson. Now Dorber, early delivery. The cavalry was arriving. And Taranto with another opportunity. You'd say maybe a half chance again there. Spurned by Adelaide.
It's a great ball in there by Dorber, the way that she's trying to shape that ball in behind the Perth defence as well. It's always a bit of a tricky one there, and just Taranto's just misjudged that there and not arriving at the right time.
Gee, Taranto's had some chances. You just think if that's Fiona Wirtz, are we looking at a different game? Well, it's expected to be back for Adelaide's next match, December 27 against Western Sydney. And Perth, this has really got must win written all over it here, because they've got Melbourne City away from home on the 28th of December. So they really would love to bank the 3 points here at home against a red side struggling. Dorber's delivery. Healy got the touch. So it will be a corner. She was just able to knock it back. And Perth had to prevent it from travelling further infield. So a corner is the result. And this has been a problem area for Perth this season. And this is a problem part of the game. Out of half-time, they are the worst team in the league. They've conceded 5 goals. They've conceded 4 from corners. Is it all about to collide here? Morrissey did just enough. McNamara. Healy linking with Hodgson, but look at that. Perth Glory players just swarming her from all angles. Erin Healy just getting no time and space. Perth knowing how important she is to Adelaide's chances. And now Dorber's offside. Hasn't been her season so far, Chelsea Dorber. No goals this campaign. The 25-year-old. Johnston. Cassidy. She cop a nudge in the back. It was good industry in the end from Dorber, but Perth win it back. Holler. Excellent from Tonkin. So this midfield battle, we spoke about in the first half. Massive indicator of who's going to win this game. That Perth mobility. It's the technical ability of Adelaide United. Oh, Johnston. That's a nasty one from Healy. Is there a high boot? Essentially on the shin maybe there. You could hear the clatter. This was the incident. Ooh. A nasty one for Johnston. So Anderson drilling it out towards Badawea. Let's get really good purchase on her deliveries. Misha Anderson. Second start this season. And it's been assured at the back. So, surprisingly somewhat, considering that they're down by a goal to nil, Adelaide aren't going to be the first side that makes a change. It is going to be Perth Glory, who are going to look to their bench first. And Bronte True is going to be replaced. I wonder whether there's any kind of management there, because Bronte True has been excellent today for Perth Glory. Would have you preferred to see her out there for a little bit longer? I'm sure Perth Glory fans would have. And the captain, Dalton, replaced by Tova. Like-for-like switch there, Dalton and Tova, wanting to keep that energy in there of Westaway and Cassidy, Stephen Peters. And the captain, who has missed some time this season with the bit of knee soreness, so Stephen Peters keeping an eye on that as well. What do you reckon, Kath? Bronte True going off?
A bit of an interesting change there from Stephen Peters. I think Bronte True has been fantastic today for Perth Glory. The times that they are looking to, look to attack through those wide areas, she has gotten herself in some really good positions. And I think now with a bit of a change here with Susan Fonson getting on the ball, it's a bit more.
Here's Hodgson. Straight into the arms of Morrissey. Good chance there for Adelaide. But it's always going to be a tough angle from there for Emily Hodgson. Not a noted goal scorer in the Ninja A-League, just 2 across 134 career matches. Tonkin lifts it up to Taranto. Where is the support? It arrives through Condon. Dorber. And Taranto blocked by Sardo. I just question again there, Kath. Where was the support there for Adelaide? It seemed like it took a long time to arrive.
It really did, and you can see there what happens is Taranto finds herself rolling in and really into the more of a central area, and then it doesn't allow Adelaide United to have width within the pitch, and not seeing any other players coming in and adding that bit of combination play to be able to go forward. You can see Taranto does roll into that central area, but there's no one actually running off her to make any sort of forward runs.
So Adelaide probing and probing. Can they find themselves an equaliser, or will Perth Glory find a second? Well, this is, well, it's unbelievable, really, how the referee hasn't played advantage there. Massive, massive advantage there for Perth Glory to play on, and the referee's blown it up here. Look at this. So Holler goes down. There's no head injury, so no need to blow it up, and Perth Glory absolutely furious with the decision here. Look at this. Space there for Johnston to run into.
You really would be. You really need to keep the momentum going in this game, and there's no need to pull that ball back up.
So Dorber couldn't find Taranto. Tova. And Susan Onsung Cam, who scored an Olympico last week. Well, she can produce the sublime and the ridiculous. She scored 11 goals in her Ninja A-League career across now 73 appearances. Healy given a bit of a tug there. Here it was, West away. And that is a very cynical foul. I'm surprised that she hasn't gone into the book there. West away. I'm sure the Adelaide bench will be asking the question. Healy. Taranto linking back with the American-born Irish international, but it all breaks down for the Reds. Second half, very few chances of note for Adelaide United.
Adelaide United really haven't come out in this second half and really made a statement, to be honest. They're 1-0 down at the moment. It really need to get something out of this game, and even though they've dominated the first half, this second half, they've been really quiet.
Anderson. Johnston. And Tova was trying to find Johnston with the 1-2. Shut down by Adelaide, and McNamara now turned over again. And this is just these 1%ers. Perth Glory are winning just with a bit of extra energy. Condon now. And the pass was a disappointing one. Well, McKenna, so far so good for Tian McKenna at centre back. Position she has rarely played. She's making a really good fist of it so far this afternoon. Still plenty of time for Adelaide to turn around a stuttering attack. We know Perth have been leaky defensively, so it certainly keeps Adelaide in the game, but recent history suggests that off the back of that clean sheet last week that they are a little bit more assured defensively. Look at that ball just bouncing like it's on a trampoline down there. Well, just a bit of talk around that, Kath, actually, this field, Sam Kerr Football Centre, about it being like concrete. I know that opposition teams usually like to train on the pitch day before games. I don't actually know whether, this is what I'm hearing, this is not my expertise, this is from chatting to people in and around the venue over there. And I don't know if it's the greatest idea to train on this pitch the day before the game, because it is like concrete, can leave you a little bit sore on game day. You don't want that coming into a crucial fixture. And I know Adelaide were training on it yesterday. And I know last week, Wellington, I think they trained on it 3 days before the game, 3 consecutive days before the game. And Bev Priestman was a bit concerned about it. Healy drives that strike wide of goal. But yeah, it was certainly something that Wellington picked up out of their travels last week. They said, yeah, maybe not have been the greatest idea to spend 3 consecutive days on the pitch. And Adelaide have just looked a little sluggish this afternoon. But this is a player who can turn this match. And they are very pleased to have her back, Lara Gooch, who missed a large portion of pre-season with injury after making the move from Newcastle. Played her first minutes with Adelaide last week. Comes off the bench here. Oh, look at the endeavour from Ponsonkamp. Very nearly won it. And look at this, Santa's in the house. Is he bringing good tidings the way of Perth Glory? Well, that Santa is a Perth Glory fan because he's got the Perth Glory drum there. Well, let's certainly hope he's a good Santa to Perth Glory. There's no Grinch in the house tonight, is there? Don't think we've spotted the Grinch. Don't stitch me up. That's Stan Lazaridis. There's the GM of football for Perth Glory. Yeah, we did see the Grinch in the house, Kath, in Newcastle last night. It was a pretty warm day as well to be dressed up in the Grinch suit.
It's always great to see everybody getting into the Christmas spirit at this time of the year.
Well, 3 points in the stocking for Perth Glory would certainly be the tonic after a bit of a rough ride with away trips. 4 straight defeats, but they had that win in round 1. They won last week against Wellington. A win here will put them into the 6. Potentially at Christmas. It just depends on that Melbourne derby, which takes place this week, as to whether they will stay there, because Melbourne City can push above them with a win. But if they're round about there, they will be pleased, as Gooch pressuring Perth Glory. She is going to cause them some headaches here late on with her speed and trickery. Healy. This is the issue for Adelaide, though. Healy out wide. You'd much prefer someone like a Gooch out there putting the crosses in for Healy rather than the other way around. Tonkin driving forward. Gooch shaping to shoot. Bumped off Sardo. 5 goals in her Ninja A-League career, Lara Gooch with the Jets. And this is going to bring a corner here for Adelaide. So with the breeze at their backs here, this is going to present some difficulties for Teresa Morrissey and Perth Glory defensively. Has to be having her wits about her, the Perth Glory keeper. Emily Condon on delivery. Swinging this in left-footed. Morrissey right on a goal line, had to punch. Zoyce recycles it. Taranto through bodies. Morrissey did have time to see it. And Johnston's ball up the line was Closed off by Hodgson. They will get out of jail though here, Perth, with a goal kick.
It's great to see Taranto there really trying to back herself. I know it's from a bit more range there, but, you know, taking that touch and striking the ball and then to get a bit more behind her.
So Gabby Holler replaced by Ella Lincoln. Lincoln with that goal earlier in the season against Brisbane in the 3-2 defeat. And Westerway, the other player replaced. So all about a Weir. So just confirmation there, O'Donoghue comes on for Perth in midfield. So Batawea will move into the centre as that number 9 striker, and Lincoln out wide. And that's been the challenge for Stephen Peters with Holler and Batawea. They're both very much central strikers. And playing with that front three, he was playing Batawea out left and Holler centrally. But now with Lincoln and Onsongkham out there, he can play more that traditional front three with the speed on the flanks and Batawea through the middle. Dorber with the flick on. Healy, delivery, the header from Gooch. Well, the delivery was excellent from Healy, but again, the question lingers here, Kath. Healy, wouldn't you prefer her on the end of that rather than delivering?
You really would, and you can see Healy at the moment. She's on the left, she's on the right. She's really trying to find herself into areas where, you know, Adelaide United are trying to build up through her and trying to find her in those wider areas. But for me, you want someone like an Erin Healy in those central areas, because you know that she's, you know, a goal scorer. She knows where the back of the net is, and that's where you want to put her into those dangerous areas.
Well, that's where she is now. Can they try and find her? Well, you just feel like Alara Gooch off the bench could be the kind of player that could really unlock Adelaide's attacking woes at the moment.
She really can. We know that she likes to run with the ball. She's a dribbler. She's got a lot of energy about her, and she's someone that really can come off the bench and change a game here. And it's something that Adelaide United really needed. They came out in the second half, looked quite flat, to be honest, and haven't really gotten into the momentum of this second half.
Substitution for Adelaide United coming off the right.
So Emily Condon, who has been dealing with the after effects of the flu, I can understand why she hasn't seen out the full 90 here. Katie Bowler comes on. Couple of goals in her Ninja A-League career. 4th season now for the Adelaide Junior out of Para Hills. McKenna driving it up the line. There's no chase for Perth Glory. Now Lincoln arrives to apply the press. McKenna, great distribution there. Finding Sato on the outside of Gooch. It was a beautiful pass. Just opened up the space for Perth Glory out wide. And Batawea won't have the pace to track this down, or will she? Well, she tried. Final 15 minutes here in the West. This is Cassidy. Adelaide shirts coming from everywhere. Johnston gets it to safety for the moment. Tonkin wanting it back with interest. I can tell you, Kath, second half possession, 55-45 in favour of Perth Glory. It's almost like Adelaide controlled this match so well up until they conceded the goal, and then all of a sudden they have just lost a bit of control, because first half 70% possession, basically more so than 70%. So we see Cassidy is down, and Adelaide are asking the question, what's doing here? If it's cramp, she should just be told to go off the field. Well, honestly, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. If that's cramp, I do not understand why we are stopping the game as we reflect back on this reason that Perth Glory are in front. Roller Batawea executing to perfection. And the hotline was working this afternoon for Roller.
It really was, and she's been the difference here between the two sides. She's given Perth Glory the lead in that first half, and again, when she's in and around that box, she looks dangerous. She's looking to score goals. She wants to get on the end of things, and that's been the difference here between these two sides.
So the change is made. Cassidy is replaced, and we know she's working herself back to full fitness. Just her second start after that hamstring injury, which caused her to miss the start of the season. And Kath, honestly, that moment there, frustrating for neutrals, but Perth Glory are allowed to do it. And they can take that time, but you could see Cassidy, there was no problem. She was having a little smile there to the trainer, basically saying, I'm all good, just going to waste a couple of minutes. And it's infuriating, isn't it?
You see it happening time and time again in world football, and you see it being used as a tactical part of the game as well, when coaches are looking to give certain instructions to players as well. And it's a bit of an interesting one there as well for Stephen Peters to make that change at this point in the game as well.
Well, they've used up all 5 changes, Perth Glory. I wonder whether he would have liked to have made that change there. I'm sure Stephen Peters would have preferred to save one up his sleeve till a little bit later as the yellow card is handed out. Sarah O'Donoghue into the book. Yeah, sliding in from behind. First of the season for O'Donoghue, who's only just come onto the field. Well, just having a look here, so 11 minutes remaining, all 5 changes. So that's an important one to note here for Perth. As Zoyce's delivery up above Tonkin, hands up for Adelaide. Well, the question is, where was this fight earlier? They were frustrated with that decision. It's been a fairly placid performance from the Reds, and now all of a sudden, as the match feels as though it's slipping away from them, just upping the ante, showing a bit more desire. Is it enough here to lift them to a goal? O'Donoghue around the outside for Lincoln. One moment on the counter is all it'll take for Perth. Lincoln, it's a corner. Final 10 minutes. Hong Song Cam produced an Olympico last week. The wind has dropped, so that's going to help her because the wind was sort of pushing this kind of cross away from goal. In fact, it's non-existent. Here we go again. Jenkins punches. The strike from Tova, looking for a first Ninja A-League goal, wasn't far off. Another corner.
It was a great delivery there by Fonsong Can, and we know the technical qualities that she has, and we've seen it last week with that Olympio.
That time low. Sometimes they can cause problems, those low deliveries, but Adelaide up to the challenge there. Gooch is saying I was given a tug. That was clear. And the referee eventually awards the free kick, but Laurie Gooch wasn't aware of it. She thought it was still a throw. So they've called it back here. Healy from distance, and she's pulled it, but that's the kind of opportunity she looks for. We saw it against Brisbane, scored a banger from outside the box. And Perth have got to be wary right till the end here.
She really does. She uses her body really well, the way that she can roll defenders and really get onto that left or right foot and be able to strike from distance there. And she looks really comfortable when she gets into those central areas and gets her opportunities to get on the ball there.
Oh, look at this, wearing a backpack. Well, Kath, I cannot believe that that's not a yellow card. I'm staggered. Johnston was basically a backpack there for Dorber. And I can't believe Adelaide haven't blown up about it there. Look at this.
You can see here.
How's that not a yellow card?
Really grabbing onto Dorber there, and it's a definite yellow card there, especially in that area of the pitch as well. And
well, just the two. Both of them have gone to Perth, Laurie. Donahue and Sardo. So as always, the delivery, it was really dangerous. And it's a scrap and scrounge in the box. Potentially a handball in all of that, but not spotted by the officials. Lincoln. And Ponsong Cam bearing down on goal. Scored the match winner last week. Can she set the seal on this one? Just pushes it wide of Jenkins' goal. Well, it was a lightning counter-attack from Perth Glory, and it deserved more.
it really did. Fonsong can come down this right-hand side, and you can see her technical qualities there. She cuts back in on her left foot there, and you can see what she's trying to do. She's trying to shape that ball around Jenkins there, and it just doesn't come off for her.
An answering from McKenna. Probably a rare blemish from Tian McKenna. It's been an assured performance from her today. I wonder whether she might be able to retain that spot at centre back if Zorc does come back in the coming weeks, I should say. Out of this one with a quad strain. Not expected to be a long-termer, but Chinema is. She's got another 6 to 8 weeks on the sideline with that ankle ligament damage. Healy, snuffed out by Johnston. Well, this is the advantage of having Johnston as part of that back four as opposed to the 5. She is in those defensive situations more often. And that speed coming to the fore on that occasion to prevent Healy getting a strike on goal. Final 5 minutes of regulation time approaching here. Adelaide with Hodgson. Taranto. McNamara. And Hodgson. Flag was up anyway. It is just not clicking in the final third for Adelaide United. 3 goals And what is going to be match number 6 for them this season. They play Western Sydney on December 27. A tussle at the bottom in the Ninja A-League. Desperation clash at the end of December, potentially shaping up unless Adelaide can pull something out of the fire late here. The other bad Christmas news for the Reds is they lose here, they will be bottom on Christmas Day. They won't be smiling opening their Christmas presents. They'll be plotting a way out of this hole that they're in at the moment. And Theo Souness has said it will take time to adjust to the style that he wants them to play. And it looks as though there's a bit of a teething period for them. 6 matches in for the side who finished 3rd last year. Frustration for Perth that this free kick goes the way of Adelaide. We'll look at Lara Gooch making the run left. Zoyce is just going to deliver towards the box. Oh, the bounce. Well, I told you it's a hard pitch. It is like a trampoline. And Morrissey was there at the near post to ensure she wasn't bamboozled by it. And now it's Perth Glory in behind once again. Lincoln. Oh, Lincoln. Great footwork. And it comes to nothing for Perth Glory once again. That counter-attack is a knuckling delivery forward. And Johnston has it taken off her toes by Dorber. McNamara on the inside, looking to pass their way into the box. McNamara some neat footwork. Dorber, can she find the delivery? Can find it there, but there are Perth Glory shirts everywhere. And so often we've seen this afternoon, Kath, in moments where Adelaide have just had to go quickly and get that strike on goal. They've dallied, and Perth have got numbers back to prevent the danger progressing any further.
Absolutely, Ben. You can see there again, Adelaide United, they're in a dangerous area to try and make something out of nothing there. Chelsea Dorber crosses that ball, and there's no one in there trying to win those 50-50s. There's no one in there hungry to win the second balls and to be able to regain possession in those dangerous areas. And that's been the difference here between these two sides today.
Bit of pressure on O'Donoghue there. 90 seconds of regulation time. Jenkins drills it forward. Well, they know where it needs to go now, Adelaide, just knocking it down the middle, getting it up the other end of the field and just getting it in the box.
That's great there by Gooch. You can see that McKenna's trying to really clean up that ball and she's trying to put her under pressure. That's exactly what Adelaide United need. They need more of their players looking to be hungrier, to want to win that ball and progress that ball forward.
Hodgson spills through. Dorber. Healy. Healy has a lash. Has another go. Anderson away. Only as far as Zoyce. It was always rising from Page. And the script at the moment is not going the way of Adelaide United and their head coach, Theo Souness. Perth Glory will be inside the 6 with this victory. Won't guarantee they're there by Christmas, with the Melbourne Derby taking place this week. But they'll be there and thereabouts. And that will be most pleasing for Stephen Peters and his coaching staff. So 4 additional minutes. Kamara being pushed higher up the pitch. Taranto as well urged further forward. Stephen Peters marshalling his defensive unit. Gooch's delivery. And Johnston away. And a Perth player goes down. Well, they're going to soak up as much time as they possibly can here, Glory. And the referees, well, they can't do much. If it looks as though it's a head knock, they have to stop play. So the delivery, Morrissey gets up for the punch. Onsong Cam tried to knock it around the corner, collected by Hodgson. This will be a whistle. Every moment like this takes them closer to victory. Perth Glory. Is the trainer going to be called out? Well, she knows that if the trainer gets called out, she will have to leave the field, so gets up quickly. And they're 2 minutes down here in stoppage time. You wonder how much more will be added on. You'd think at least a minute, but you never do know. It's up to the referee's discretion. Poked over the top. Healy, Gooch. And it's McKenna. You would not know that she hasn't played at centre-back very often based on this performance today. Healy bumped off the ball. Oh, can you believe this? Badawea hustled and bustled and knocked over Healy, and all of a sudden, oh, hang on a second. A little bit of push and shove here. A little bit of spice laid on, and Adelaide with a chance to pull this out of the fire. Would this be a Christmas miracle here, Kath, if the Reds can score here in the last minute to earn themselves a point?
It really could. It's probably the only way that Adelaide United are going to be putting it into the back of the net today. Nothing else has really worked for them in this second half. They've come out really flat, and you've got to say that Perth Glory have been the better team in this second half.
Well, we had the Christmas miracle in Canberra a few years back. Pretty sure it was Holly Caspers that scored that late goal. Can Adelaide produce something? Zoyce, not quite. Sighs of relief around Sam Kerr Football Centre.
You can see Ensign there just pointing to her head, telling her team to switch on and really stay focused in these last couple of minutes. And you need to give it to the Perth Glory team. They've really managed this last 15 minutes really, really well, not taking any risks, going long from goal kicks, defensively really, really sound and really connected as a unit and working for one another to really grind out these 3 points at home.
Well, it's all up to the referee's discretion now. How much time does Sophie Allam add on from here? Perth can put it beyond doubt with a second goal, and they will go after that here. Lincoln, has she left it behind? No, she hasn't. Sardo has been industrious this afternoon. Her best performance in a Perth shirt. Down to the corner she goes. And it is a corner for Perth. And I know where this is going. Straight back to the corner, I dare say. Because there's no Perth Glory player in the box unless they want a sneaky one here. Straight back to the corner. And it's back-to-back wins at last for Perth Glory this season. And there will be plenty of festive cheer in the West as Perth move back into the top 6. Frustration for Adelaide. They have some serious questions to ponder as they sit last after their opening 6 matches. Theo Sunis has said it will take time. It is proving a painstaking process for the Reds. They've scored just 3 times in their first 6 matches. But it is all smiles. Look at those moves for Emetova and Perth Glory. What a performance in back-to-back weeks defensively. Back-to-back clean sheets for Morrissey. 2 matches for Morrissey, 2 clean sheets for the goalkeeper. What a record. Perth Glory 1, Adelaide United 0. Well, Kath, sometimes you've got to win ugly, and you'd say Perth have done it in back-to-back weeks, but they will not care a jot.
They really were, and you're 100% right there, Ben. They didn't have the cleanest of games today, but they did go up with the Roller Batawea goal. And again, Adelaide United really dominated the first half, but Perth Glory were the one that went into the halftime break